Welcome back to another episode of the Conscious Energy Officer Show. I'm your host, Grant Parr, with my co-host, Graham Betchart and John Costanzo. Happy Thanksgiving. What's up, fellas?
What's going on, Grant? John, good to see you.
Going on?
Welcome, everybody, to another show. This is the Conscious Energy Officer Show, where we set our intention to help police officers with mental skills training. And we have a little system that we use, and we always reference these 4 skills that I want to introduce to you real quick. And our 4 skills, the first mental skill we always work on is called what's important now. And that's about focusing on what's in your control and in letting go of everything else. So we'll always be referencing what's in your control, what's out of your control. And that's what's important now. And that's how you win, right? Our second skill is what we call playing present. And that's the ability to be present, to be where your feet are, or in this case, police present, right? To be right where you are, right where your feet are. This is a skill, and we have to practice being present. We have to practice being where we are. That brings up our third skill. Our third skill is called next play speed. And next play speed is how fast can I come back to the present moment after I've lost my focus. Maybe I'm pre-living. Maybe I'm reliving, instead of really being here, being centered, being where my feet are right now. So next play speed is resiliency. It's grittiness. It's coming back to the present and being here in this moment. And that brings up our fourth skill. We call it palms down. And palms down is the opposite of this. There's a situation going on. There's something out of my control. I'm focused like this. No, I'm going to choose my response. I'm going to be cool under pressure. We're going to police palms down, right? We're going to bring the right energy to it. So palms down, you're going to see these surfboards behind me a lot. This is analogy. We're learning to ride the emotions. We're learning to ride the waves. Can't do it like this. We got to be composed. We got to choose our response. So those are our 4 mental skills. We have 16 of them, but those are the 4 you're going to hear us reference all the time. And you're also going to hear us reference this technique we use. And this technique we use to train is called MVP. And the MVP in this case stands for meditation, visualization, and powerful self-talk. So 3 mental skills that we combine into one little technique. And we're going to be referencing this a lot. And with meditation, we're just talking about just finding your breath, right? Real simple. Find your breath for a couple minutes. And then visualization, your mind is so powerful. It can imagine doing things, and you're not even really doing them, but it's so real in your imagination. It's as if it is real. So visualization is a great way to practice whatever you're working on. And then powerful self-talk, right? This is the conversation we're having with ourselves all the time. What we're doing is we're using powerful self-talk to make our self-talk something that's helpful, not hurtful. So that's our MVP, one of the techniques we'll use. And the 4 mental skills, we've introduced those to you. And now let me shoot it over to John, who's going to keep us rolling a little bit. And I believe he's got a topic for us to talk about today.
Hey, thanks, Graham. That was a good start. As always, I love following you. Today, we're going to talk about, it's not going to be necessarily a pressure point, but something that for me really helps a lot. And I just wanted to share for all the officers out there. I'm a veteran on the police force of 14 years in Washington, D.C. I'm in the K-9 unit currently. And something that really helps me how I start my day is what we call gratitude. So, yeah. So with gratitude, it's a very interesting thing. We live in a world of abundance. And a lot of times we get caught in stuff that's out of our control, And so what helps me get grounded back to what's in my control is gratitude, very simple things. But usually on a daily basis, I'll think or list or talk out loud, powerful self-talk. I'll talk about 15 simple things that we take for granted, like clean water, just being healthy. And I'll start there, and what I've found is it grounds me back to, wow, I am in an amazing spot. I am in a great place. Like, I should not be complaining right now. I should be grateful. And so that's where I start my day. And, it's just, it really helps get it off to a great start.
Man, you couldn't have said it better. I mean, the practice of gratitude, of being grateful, one, it's in your control, right? So just, take it back to our skills, right? What's important now? What's in your control? Having gratitude and being grateful is in your control, right?
Yep.
Absolutely. And taking time to remember and to think about the things you are grateful for, it enhances your energy and puts you into a great state, where ultimately gratitude is a present state experience. When you're in a state of full gratitude, it's an amazing experience. And you can start by just, hey, I woke up today, right? You start there. I'm so grateful to be alive, and that can bring a whole lot of perspective, because imagine finding out someone you loved didn't wake up this morning. That would shift everything for you, right? So I know that's extreme, but that's such a great way to start, is knowing that our experience here in the human experience is brief. It really is. Like, it really is. What's the most valuable thing we have? Life. It's the thing that it's brief. You're not going to have that much of it. That's how it goes. So having that gratitude, it's amazing what it does. And sometimes it feels hard, right? Keeping it real. Sometimes you're like, gratitude, but my life is shit, or I got all these things going on, right? Let's be real. And you kind of lose sight of all the things that are right here for you, that are right in front of you, like the people you love, or being alive, or being able to do what you love. Even if you're doing what you love and you're having a hard day and it's tough, it's like the right hard day. It's like the right challenge. So even being grateful for that. And I want to help everyone when we think about one of our main skills, right? Palms down. Incredible skill, right? The first level is this: your palms up. You're reacting to the world, something you're focused on, stuff out of your control. And then you start responding, and you say, I'm going to choose my response, right? There's a third level to it. And the third level is gratitude. And the third level is, I'm so grateful for this moment. I'm so grateful for everything that's happening, because it's helping me become more aware on how to be present, on how to find my flow, right? Because if you're caught in this, you're focused on something out of your control. You're learning to work through it. And now you're grateful, you're aware. You're like, I'm grateful to be here. And you throw gratitude onto a moment that looks like it's against you, or can initially seem like something bad is happening. Let me just give you a sports reference. How many athletes do you see blaming referees, right? Blaming umpires, blaming officials, right? It just happens 24/7. So one of the things we teach is it's the ref. And then if we can get to palms down, right, we're doing much better. Hey, ref, no problem. I'm moving forward. Like, I got this, as opposed to, that's nothing to me. Whether you miss a call, make a call, you're fine. When you're on this level, it's profound how that referee and official treats you back. When you come with gratitude in a situation that looks like that could be your enemy, but you flip it and you're like, no problem. That's nothing to me. Ooh, all of a sudden that same ref goes, hey, I missed that call. Sorry about that. And you're like, what is going on? Because if you do this to a ref, they're going to be like, get the fuck away. This is, at least you're starting to own your own shit, right? I'm taking care of myself. This is you are what we call an alpha. And an alpha is not the biggest, most muscular person. It's the person that can harmonize the energy, to make what looks like an enemy turn into an ally, right? Someone who can do that. So gratitude, beyond like, I'm grateful to be alive. Well, I'm not saying what's beyond that, but that's a great one. But in competitive, high pressure situations, gratitude is profound, because what it can help you do is help you see clear. It can help you see what's going on and not get caught up in the frustration or the anger, or this person's not doing what's going on, or they're not listening to me, I can't control. And then all of a sudden you realize, wait a second. And then you go, hey, I'm grateful for this, because I get to be aware of what's going on right now. And just in that moment of gratitude, everything slows down. And I'm not saying you put yourself in a dangerous situation, John, or anything like that, but you can see better. And I'm not telling athletes like, no, it's okay if the refs fuck up. Like, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying if in the moment, the whole goal is to be present and to really to be composed so I can function, that absolutely gratitude is going to help you in that moment, because then you don't get caught up in some crazy shit. And I'm not saying literally do this. Like, I'm not telling a player does this on the court, or an officer is like, okay. No. But I'm saying energetically you're doing that.
Yeah.
Right? Energetically you're okay, no problem. I see what's going on here.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when you start off that way, when stuff does come at you, you have a different perspective, because it's a mindset, right? You think, wait, why me? But look at people from other countries who don't have clean water, who don't have food on the table, who can barely get some clothes. So it's really the perspective of, are you really struggling, or is this just something small that you just not realizing what you do have, right?
Right.
And so when you remind yourself of what you do have on a daily basis, even the small things, or what we perceive as small, it really does balance you out. Because your dog pooped in the house. It's like, okay, is that really a big deal? No, you clean it up. It's like it happens, right? There's no perfection in life. So, it does. I mean, it brings a whole different perspective. And then when we go to help people, it also helps you understand that, like, okay, this is okay, right?
Yeah.
Let's take a moment. Like you said, let's breathe. Let's work through this. I'm grateful to have the mental skills and the training and all of the tools to help solve this chaotic moment, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Because not everybody has that. Not everybody runs to danger. Most people run from danger.
Yeah.
Right. I have the courage to run to danger.
Yeah.
Right.
You're in it. You're in the fire. So if we're going to be in the fire, let's learn the mental skills, because by choice, with honor, with service, you've chosen this profession, right? So you're right. You're going to run towards it. It's the same thing I tell an athlete. Like, you chose to be in this profession and have people try to stop you doing what you're doing, right? That's what an athlete is like. Hey, we're going to go do our thing. And there's another team that's like, you're not going to do any of that shit. We're going to fucking stop all that shit. And that's our job. You sign up to have that resistance as an athlete. So you have to embrace that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And as an officer, right, you're signing up to go towards it. So as you go towards it, that's why these mental skills are paramount. That's why these are so profound, because and practicing them. Because when we're sitting here, we're mentioning gratitude. I remember when I first started hearing gratitude, I was like, how is this going to help me? And then right away, I saw my attitude right there. I was like, look at my attitude with that. I was like, how is this going to help? And I was like, whoa. And I was like, wow. So your thoughts usually create feelings, and feelings tend to create actions. So gratitude also can just put you in a greater state of feeling, right? You're in a better state of existence, a better state of being right here. I know with some athletes I'll work with, right? And they'll be stressed out about something. And I'll say, okay, when you were 15, 16 years old, what was your dream? And they'll say their dream. And I'll be like, are you living that right now? And they're like, oh, I am. I'm living a dream. Like, yeah, you got to remember that in this moment, you're doing it, because your mind often wants to run to the future, right? And wants to always think about what's next. That's why coming back to what's important now and being present is so important, because you'll miss what's happening right now. You'll miss it because you'll always think, oh, somewhere else, right? Once I get there, then it'll be great. So gratitude is very grounding. Gratitude will bring you back into the now, and the now is definitely the place to be. And so that gratitude is another great tool to help kind of bring you back. And it can be challenging I remember going to some hot yoga classes. I don't know if you've ever done a hot yoga class, and there's moments in that class where, at least for me, I want to like run out of the room. You're like,
I haven't done it yet, but I've had some female friends that are like, hey, come do hot yoga. I'm going to take them up on it.
Hot yoga it's a great place for mental training, because you go through a lot in that room. And I've been in that room, and your mind is like, I want to just get me the hell out of here, anything. And you can hear the teacher being like, be grateful for being here. And at first I'm like, grateful? Like, I don't want to be, I'm not grateful. And then I can feel all the resistance. And you go, you know what? Let me be grateful that I get a chance to be in here. And Grant has always helped me with this language. Hey, I get to do this, as opposed to, oh, I have to do it. So gratitude, and Grant can probably pick us up on this, is you got to be aware of your language, right? You got to be aware of how you're communicating with yourself.
Big time. And what I'm hearing is gratitude is the attitude. Right?
Yeah.
It's what I love about gratitude. Same thing, Graham. Like, it took me a while in life to like really connect with gratitude and having a practice with it. But when you start actually doing a daily having a daily gratitude practice, you're harmonizing your energy and creating energy space. And more often than not, and this is a generalization, when I'm working with athletes, whether if it is their energy, or if it's material things, they focus on the things they don't have versus the things that they do have. And so, earlier, John, you were talking about the littlest things. And for me, I'll share like my gratitude practice in the morning. Like it's just little things and I do this all the time because I love linen sheets. So when I wake up in my bed, I'm very kinesthetic. So I feel stuff, hyper feel sometimes. So I'm grateful when I feel my legs on my sheets when I wake up, and I do that every morning. I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. And that's the way of like just as soon as I wake up, I lock into something that I'm grateful. The way my coffee tastes, the way that I'm sitting there looking at the sun comes in, those little things. Because the more that I'm doing that, I'm not connecting to negativity. I'm connecting to good energy, which is harmonizing me, and it's allowing me to move better. I'm going into this universe to move. So when there is shit coming at me, man, I'm prepared. I've taken care of my space around me.
And you know what's cool about that? It sounds like your gratitude is connecting to the now. Like in the present, you're connecting to the sheets, to the coffee, to the smells. And a lot of times, when we talk about, being in the present, policing present, just being in the present moment, that's what it is. You're connecting to what's around you. And that's a great way to, add on to it, is you're sharing that gratitude with the now, not, yesterday, not tomorrow. It's a good thought.
Yeah.
I like that.
There's next play speed right there. We leave the present so often, right? So often we do. You might be doing what you exactly want to do in life, but your mind's still like, oh, I gotta do these other things and then I'll be happy, right? Do these other things. And just recognizing that your mind is racing in that moment is something to be grateful for. You go, oh my God, I caught myself. I'm so grateful. So grateful that I'm aware to bring myself back to where my feet are, find my breath. And I think that the breath, and we mentioned it in the MVP when we started, right? And the start of the MVP is the meditation. Just working on your breath is so amazing.
Yeah.
And just having a little practice where you do a little breathing every day with a little bit of intention, couple minutes, 60 seconds, 2 or 3 breaths. You can do a real simple breathe in for 5, hold for 5, breathe out for 5, hold for 5. Do that 3 or 4 times. It just really starts to get you present. And so we talk about being present all the time, right? As our third mental skill. Your breath is such a great way to practice that. I mean, how often are we even aware that we're breathing? And John has shared so many stories with us, and we've talked about, okay, de-escalating a scene, but really it's about de-escalating ourselves. So we come in with that right vibration on scene, and your breath is that tool. So I find myself just being grateful for my breath a lot, and being really grateful that I'm aware of my breath. And just so thankful that I know it's there. It's what guides me through the really tough moments. Sometimes that's all you have. You just breathe instead of reacting, right? When we're saying palms down, what we're really saying a lot of times is just breathing and holding that space, breathing and being, like really doing that. So I've been grateful for my breath since it got introduced to me when I was 19. I mean, I was breathing before clearly, but I didn't really know it was a thing. And then once I found it, I was like, oh man, it always gives you something to go to.
Yeah. If I'm gonna add to that, because the power of breath, man, it's so simple. And the law of too easy is coming all the time. It's so easy to do and so easy not to do. Really to be present to your breath. And because we're in the season of gratefulness right now, right around the corner is Thanksgiving. Right around the corner is New Year's. We are going to be resetting, looking at goals, and with the theme of breath, Graham, I want to throw out to the officers that are listening and watching. There's another skill of breathing that's called the reset breath. So what you do is you find something that you love that lights you up, whether it's a person, a thing, experience, a song, something in the past that was super positive. I want you to breathe that in for a count of 4, hold on that for a second or 2, and then exhale whatever negativity you want to get out of your body. Or if you experience something negative, go breathe in that positive experience and then exhale that negativity. And that's a reset breath. So the more you can do that, the more you're going to be grateful for that technique. Right. So
that like, was it Bad Boys? They go, woosah.
Yeah. Just being aware is so Seriously, just starting with, we said awareness activates your abilities. All this is already inside of you. It's just about starting to do it, right? And that first step is going, okay, like how do I go from this to this, right? Like, well, how does that actually work? Starts with awareness, just being aware that I'm like this. And then what's the process of actually being palms down? It's finding your breath, right? Really powerfully finding your breath. If you look, we can always look to athletes just because we see them on TV all the time, and you can kind of see them. Watch NBA players before they shoot free throws. You'll notice a lot of them. They take this different breath than how you're just kind of going through the day. It's a different breath. It's a centering breath, right? It might be one, hey, they're breathing in for 5 or 6 seconds, not the normal, like just 2 or 3, then out real quick. And they're composing themselves before they do like a fine-tuned movement with their body, right? To let themselves relax. You might watch a master piano player. Or anybody, right? Rarely someone played well and they're not tuned into their breath. So the same thing when we think about policing, finding your breath. And John, you've helped us out a lot with that. That's starting when the call comes in your car on the way, already working with your breath as that, because clearly you can't you got to have your hands on the wheel, but you're working on your breath. You're working on centering your breath. And when everything's going really fast, you're breathing slow and smooth. It's amazing what happens just by changing the pace of your breath, how that changes everything,
Totally.
Yeah. Because if you're running fast, if you're going fast and you're allowing your mind to run fast, you're going to make mistakes. And it's best to, slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Yep.
Take your time, right? Even if somebody's in danger, take your time. Let your brain process. It takes time, to get to the logic side of your brain. Your thought takes a whole minute for your brain to process that logically. A whole minute. Think about that. Take your time. Take that breath. Take that extra second. Ask yourself, am I in danger? Just slow it down. Whether it's with your words, whether it's with the volume of your voice, just bring it down. Somebody's going high, you come lower.
Sure.
It changes the dynamics of the whole thing. Just letting them get it out and you just pause. Take your time.
Walk to win, man. There it is right there. Walk with lethal patience. You slow everything down. You perform way better. Grant and I have done a good amount of work with, everyone really, but surgeons are always intriguing to me because, surgeons, they'll like officers, they face life or death moments, maybe not necessarily on them, but the people they're working on, it's on the line. They'll go through it. And I've had surgeons tell me they're in there, they're doing surgery, and something ruptures, right? And then blood is just spurting. And they'll be like, their mind goes, oh, shit. Like, I'm going to have to walk out to the waiting room. I'm going to have to tell them, like, your son has just died, all these things. And they go, no, find your breath, stop the bleeding. And they just come right back to the moment. They slow everything down. They're not rushing the future. And shit's still happening. Blood's coming out. But with flow, they do their job and they bring it right back to and everything's on the line. And if they don't stop that blood, yes, this person's going to die. But instead of going to the results, they come back to what's important now and they move slower. And because they're moving slower, they get things done quicker. They're like, oh shit, like, got to get this, and like their energy's panicked. It's not going to work. So they come and they have to trust their hands doing the most fine-tuned small movements.
Yeah.
Pressure. No one under pressure who does well is in a hurry. That's a universal. You can be quick. You can move quick. You can be efficient. You can be very efficient, but you're never in a hurry. That never helps anyone out because that hurry means you're trying to get to this thing and you're going to miss what's happening right now.
It's huge. It's huge.
Yeah. And, some of the simplest things too, you could look at it like this. I get paid to help people, right? It's never the same. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that every day is different. It keeps the job interesting when you think about it.
Yeah.
You don't really know what you're going to get into, but when you look at it, like you look at it as, oh, I don't know what's going to happen today, but be curious of the unknown. look forward to it. Look forward to the challenge, because you can handle it. You signed up for this, you can handle it.
That's right.
But it's about that, like we talked about, powerful self-talk. I know I can handle this situation. No problem.
That's right.
You say something nasty to me, no problem. Tell me more. I understand. I understand how you feel. It changes people like instantly. It's the craziest thing. But when you do it and you really don't put any feelings behind it and you tell them you understand, when you tell them, tell me more, it blows their mind, because most people would react like this.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Oh my God. And when anyone's reacting like this, imagine like an officer reacting with this energy. If I'm interacting with that officer, I'm already like, oh shit, I'm scared. The energy's off. I'm defensive. There's no place to connect there. This is starting the connection. If you feel gratitude from the officer, all of a sudden I'm like, I'm grateful to be around this officer. I'm thankful you're here. Oh, I'm grateful for this, right? Because you're mirroring that. The key is going from to going here. I'm telling you, I had an athlete last night tell me after a game, he was like, how do I do this from this? Because he realized when he's doing this, he's a big fucking man. And he is a fucking beast. So if he's like, everyone's like, including like referees and everyone. No one wants to help, right? So he's like, oh, I'm putting off an energy that's creating nothing that I want, even though that's what I feel in the moment. So I've got to start working on this.
Yeah.
Working on that compassion, that empathy. Hey, ref, no problem.
Totally.
No problem.
Also another thing to throw out there that helps with implementing a gratitude practice is, I always say, it's grateful for me, grateful for you. If you can wake up in the morning and just find something that you're grateful every day, just one thing, right? And then go tell somebody that you're going to interact with that you're just grateful for them. If you do that every day, that's harmonizing and creating energy, and you're filling yourself with some good shit there. So, right, grateful for me, grateful for you, and man, you just keep on doing that. You're connecting energy, man, and it's basic, but if you keep doing it consistently, a little bit each day,
that's right.
Your force field of energy and gratefulness is gonna be incredible.
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about. We're talking about creating habits, right? In order to create a habit, you got to do something. 5 minutes, a minute, 2 minutes. Is that really any time at all? No, it's not. But you start doing it every day. You're like, oh, I forgot. It's time to be grateful. Yeah. We go to Thanksgiving dinner, right? What do? We say what we're thankful for. How does it make you feel after everybody goes around the table and they share something good, right? It makes you feel awesome. So why aren't we doing it every day, right? Let's make it a habit. Don't wait for the holidays. Don't wait for going to church. Right. Every day, throw that out there. Be grateful for something. Everybody's got something. And when people say, I can't think of 15 things, I say you're full of shit. Like, you can easily think of 15 things of what you're grateful for. You just got to put some thought into it. And you do that. You start the day off like that. It really does. It changes the way you look at things. The next time you go to bitch about something, you're like, nah, it's not that big of a deal. Because guess what? It's not. It really isn't.
That's right.
So and that's it.
Throw one more in too. That's amazing. And be grateful for something that's hard. Be grateful for something that it kind of feels like, why would I be grateful for that? Be grateful for something you're resisting right now. Be grateful for something that looks like you're like, oh, if this would just go away, I would be better. Be grateful for that. And what you do is you soften it up. And as you soften it up, you realize it becomes pliable. And as it's pliable, you realize you can move through stuff, as opposed to like, this thing is here, make it go away. You have gratitude for it. Maybe you're in a tough conversation at work, right? Maybe you have to have a tough conversation, something vulnerable with someone you love. All those things, instead of going, oh, why do I have to do this? If you can start throwing that gratitude on it, it's amazing what that does.
Totally.
Situations. Yeah.
All right. Absolutely. I mean, that's a great point, because you go to the gym, you lift weights. You don't lift weights to be comfortable, right? Yeah. You get uncomfortable, and guess what? You grow. That's right. So when something's challenging you, lean into it, right? Lean into that moment. Try to understand why it's challenging you and grow from that. Don't run from it. Running from it, you'll never grow. Our goal here is to grow.
To grow, baby.
That's it. We're here to help officers grow.
Yep. Transform.
All right. Well, good job, everyone. Another great show.
Heck yeah.
We're grateful for all the officers out there. We're grateful for everything you do, and we're grateful to do this work with you. And we want, our goal is to have all officers, we'll start with the United States, become certified as conscious energy officers, working with these skills, applying these skills, becoming the bridge in the community to create that connection of trust and real service. And so we're grateful you're here. John, super grateful for what you do. I'm just blown away and inspired by what you do. And I'm inspired to be in service to help this. This means a lot. I'm literally grateful to be able to do this work with police officers. For real, you guys know me. I carved a super big niche in basketball, in the highest level in the world. And it means so much to me. I love basketball. And this means so much to me to work with police officers. And I'm very grateful to get to do this work with something that has so much meaning and is really needed. So I'm thankful for everyone being here on this show and letting us get to do this work, for real.
Absolutely. John, Graham, I'm grateful for both of you, man. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Hey, y'all.
See you next week.
All right, see you.